Hi everyone, I'm Darthbriboy. Now I know many of you people who watch my content are going to be shocked by this. You're going to be like, wait Darth, why are you doing a pro-Hillary thing now? Oh my god, you're a complete turncoat. Oh my god. Well, I've said this time and time again, and I'll repeat myself here. The state I'm in, which is Pennsylvania, is a very important swing state this election. So, because I hate Trump more than I hate Hillary Clinton, I'm going to support Hillary Clinton and campaign for Hillary Clinton. I will also be campaigning for any very strong progressives in my district and in my state. Mostly because one of the things I will do is hold Hillary Clinton's feet to the fire. I'm not going to let her get away with any fucking shit like the TPP or try to lead us down the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Fuck that noise. The job of the citizens is to hold the politicians by the balls. We can elect them in, we can elect them out at any given time. Now, if you want a video of Jill Stein or people supporting Jill Stein, link in the description here. I don't have any video footage of Gary Johnson because I never met the guy. Fortunately or unfortunately, considering some shit he said recently, whatever, I still probably would have liked to have seen the guy despite some of the stupid nihilist shit that he said about climate change. But with that in mind, like all of these videos, I always feel the need to have an introduction. The guy that played Tarzan, Tony Goldwyn, well, he voiced Tarzan in the Disney movie, and he also played the president in Scandal. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be pretty fucking cool. So, there's a small part of me, because I fucking love that Tarzan movie. I got a huge nostalgia thing for that fucking movie. So I'm like, I'm going to be fucking Tarzan. He's going to be endorsing Hillary Clinton. Okay, fuck it. I got to meet him. I got to take a picture with him. Was pretty cool. Nevertheless, I'll still do videos that are critical of Hillary Clinton this election cycle, because I think that is fair of me. Now, I think I'm going to be a lot more critical about Trump than Clinton, but it's important to be critical about both candidates. So, hope you enjoy this video, and if you want my anti-Clinton video, link in the description for that, or if you want my political videos, there's an entire political video playlist that I've made. It involves tributes, vlogs, ton of fucking rants, and politicians or people who are in, or people who are supporters of Bernie and shit like that. So if you want to check all that shit out, it's in that fucking link. So hope you enjoyed this little video, and peace.
Hello. Holy shit.
Say hello, that guy right there.
Damn. Yeah. Going great.
Good. Sorry I'm a little late. Get you guys waiting.
It's okay.
Hey, well, for you now. All right.
Holy shit. Holy crap.
Someone taught him the name he was on the show.
It's going well.
Elect Hillary Clinton as the president or what?
Yeah!
Yes. Well, I guess I'm going to introduce myself.
We know you. Woo!
I'm Spitz. Came all the way here to Elkins Park
Woo!
to congratulate you and thank you guys for the work that you're doing that is so incredibly important right now. And for those of you who've just come to check it out, we really need you to sign up and work a shift or do whatever you can, because we're at a really critical moment. Not just in this election, but I really deeply believe in our nation's history. So, you know, I've been going around the country for several months now, since like November, because I, felt this urge early. Yeah, and look, I have two daughters who are in their early 20s, and when I started to think about who our next president should be, I realized what I was asking myself is what kind of a country I want my daughters to raise their families in. And right now, that question could not be more relevant. We're looking at two completely divergent visions of America. On one side, we have a vision of public policy, and politics and American life driven by fear and xenophobia and bigotry and division, and a complete us versus them mentality.
Fascism.
Approach to every single problem. It's us and then the others, whatever whoever the other is at that moment. It's a really toxic brew, both domestically and foreign. And then on the other side, we have someone who is saying we are stronger together, and that our public conversation should be based on unity and equality and strength, based on what I have always taken for granted as our core American values. So, I don't even recognize Donald Trump's vision of America as a place that I grew up in.
Agreed.
I don't want my grandchildren to grow up in that country.
That's right.
When I
Agreed.
look at Hillary Clinton's vision of America, I'm proud to call that place my country, and it's the only place I'd want my family to
Call it mine.
grow up in. So I think it's worth mentioning that we have so much to be proud of in what President Obama has been able to achieve. In the face of the most unrelenting opposition from the second he took the oath of office.
Yep.
We're emerging from this financial crisis. Where the Bush administration kind of put us in the ditch, and now 8 years later, we're emerging stronger than any other country on earth. The unemployment rate is 7.5.
Yeah.
We have historic strides on LGBT rights.
Yes.
We're engaged in, finally a meaningful international climate agreement.
Woo!
And for the first time, 90% of Americans now have health insurance.
Yes.
But we still have really profound challenges
Agreed.
in front of us. A lot of people are suffering in this country, and we're looking at the biggest income gap since the 1920s. A person of color in this country still has very good reason to expect unfair treatment from law enforcement. We have a criminal justice system that's in systemic reform. And with the rise of ISIS and the spread of radical jihadism, we're looking at the biggest terrorist threat since the rise of Al-Qaeda. So these are big, complex problems, and the question becomes, what's the right approach? And Hillary Clinton, for me, is as President Obama said, she's not only the most qualified person ever to run for the presidency. There's something else that I have discovered when I started really doing my homework about Hillary Clinton. When I was asked to go on the road and talk about her in the campaign, I was a supporter, and I realized I had to kind of know what I was talking about. I wanted to be able to engage in a real conversation about it. I started to dig a little bit because I personally had been pretty frustrated over the past many years, because I've admired her for a long time, at the narrative that was written or sort of woven by the right wing about Hillary Clinton, and that has kind of seeped into the national consciousness about her, and it made me angry, and I felt it was really unfair. And I thought, well, I'd better be able to defend that position. So I started to do as much homework as I could, and what I found was not only were all of these kind of indictments of Hillary either completely baseless or taking something that was rather minor and blowing it up into a national crisis. You know, whether you're from, a lot of you are too young to remember, but some of you will, you know, Whitewater and Travelgate during the first Clinton administration, or, you know, the beating she took on healthcare, trying to get healthcare reformed as if that was a bad thing. You know, the heat she got for so many things over the years, and now it's sort of grown into this sort of general vague trustworthiness issue. So here's what I discovered, and what came to inspire me more and more, is I saw a woman who has been utterly consistent over 40 years to the same, her commitment to the same people that she's been fighting for since she was in college, and that is children and women and American families who lack the resources to fight for themselves. So, you know, we're talking about someone who, when she was in law school, and she was obsessed with childhood poverty and the root causes of childhood poverty and how to address that in this country. And she took an extra year at Yale Law School to work at the Yale Child Study Center to really understand that. And then during that time, she, you know, applied for a job with Marion Wright Edelman at the Children's Defense Fund. She gets out of Yale Law School, top of her class, could have had a high-paying job at any law firm. No, she didn't do that. She went to work for the Children's Defense Fund. She goes undercover to Alabama as a 24-year-old woman to expose the segregated schools there, these whites-only academies that were discriminating. And she posed, I don't know if you all know this story, but she posed as she said her husband was moving down there, he was a businessman. She was going to say, you know, she went to apply to these schools and just wanted to make sure what kind of kids would be in these schools, and she was assured that there would only be white children. And so she got that exposed, and they were all over the South, and they were put out of business because they were claiming, you know, fraudulent tax exemptions. At the same time, this is the woman who then went to South Carolina, because in South Carolina, the law allowed teenage boys to be incarcerated with adult men. So you had kids as young as 12 years old in jail with adult rapists and murderers. And young Hillary Clinton went and exposed that, wrote a report about it, took it to Marion Wright Edelman, and the Children's Defense Fund got that law changed in South Carolina. You know, flashing forward a bit, she met Bill. She decided to move to Arkansas with him, and he was the Attorney General in Arkansas. And she went into private practice at the Rose Law Firm and became the first female partner in the history of that law firm. But she didn't turn away from public service. She redoubled her efforts, and she did things like founding the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, which is still in existence today, and is you know, has made a difference in thousands and thousands of Arkansans' lives. President Carter was so impressed with her public service that he appointed her to be chair of the Legal Services Corporation, which is a national organization that provides legal counsel to people that are too poor to defend themselves. When Bill became governor of Arkansas, he appointed her to be chair of the Arkansas Educational Standards Committee because the Arkansas public education was such a disaster, and there was zero early childhood education in Arkansas. So Hillary heard about a program in Israel called the Hippie program, which was an early, you know, pre-K program in Israel that was a massive success. She brought that to Arkansas, and now the Hippie program is in 41 states across the country and has transformed pre-K education in our entire country. And most people don't even know about that because Hillary Clinton is not a person who tends to call attention to herself. She's about the work. You know,
Where's the press?
Well, the press likes what's sexy and what's loud, and the press likes Donald Trump. You got to admit, he's pretty entertaining. Terrifying.
Trump's the enemy. Trump's the enemy of the country.
What's that?
As far as I'm concerned, to be blunt, I've been studying Trump since November, and I see this man, and I know the laws that are on the books. I see a man that could turn this country into a fascist state if he wanted to. This man, if he wanted to, could still martial law at any given time if he's so fit. Trump, as far as I'm concerned, is as dangerous as Mussolini was to Italy, and we need to stop him at all costs.
No, you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. I mean, hopefully our system of government is solid enough to withstand Donald Trump. I would pray for that.
I hope so.
What he is doing is really it sounds like overblown language, but it's really no different than the way that Hitler came to power in Germany. He appealed to a populist base. Germany was in a lot worse shape than the United States is, but it was absolutely the same. We've all seen these, quotes that are taken from Nazi Germany, and you go, well, wait, that's exactly what he's saying. There's no difference. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
And but I just want to stick with Hillary for 1 second to kind of
Stay positive.
follow the
Agreed.
positive.
Positivity.
Because we're gonna win. But,
Woo!
Montgomery County's gonna bring it.
Agreed.
that's right, exactly. I got to Arkansas, but when she went into the White House, I mentioned her attempt at to pass universal health care, which she was brutally defeated by the Republicans in Congress and especially in his allies. And I thought she was done. I was like, well, this woman really tried. She made a valiant effort. She came in as first lady, trying to be an activist first lady, and people shut her down. They didn't want to hear it. First lady was supposed to pick up the draperies and the china, and that was it. And but she got knocked down, and she got right back up in typical Hillary fashion, dusted herself off, joined hands with Orrin Hatch, who's a conservative Republican, and Teddy Kennedy was a liberal Democrat, and together they passed the state children's health insurance program, S-CHIP, which is still in existence and has insured over 8 million American kids. Hillary, was at least able to protect the most vulnerable citizens, which were the ones that she had been fighting for to that point in her whole life. And that has continued. She got childhood immunization against childhood diseases to be a nationwide program. She pushed the NIH to increase funding for things like childhood asthma. We all know the story of when she went to Beijing for the World Conference on Women in the mid-90s and declared that human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights once and for all at a time, that was very provocative. No First Lady had ever done anything like that. And as we heard, Bill Clinton mentioned at the convention, at the time that was a radical statement. And it set a standard internationally, and it was continued when she became Secretary of State with the Hillary Doctrine, and she went around the world challenging dictators and regimes where women were institutionally second-class citizens, and said that in a TED Talk, she had this wonderful quote that, equal rights for women is not just an equality issue, it's not just a fairness issue, it's a security issue, and it's an economic issue.
Agreed.
When women have equal rights as men, entire nations are more prosperous and more secure, and that's just a fact. So this is a woman who has had a profound impact already on the world, and has deep relationships around the world, and there's just no comparison, certainly. So here's the thing. I know we're all in agreement. I'm preaching to the choir, but
Amen.
Amen. Sunday is church.
Sure, why not?
The key here, and particularly in Pennsylvania, we got to get out to vote.
Yes.
Get out to vote, we're going to win. We got to make sure that everybody is registered by November 11th.
Yes.
We got to make sure that October 11th.
You made a gap?
Somebody said November 11th.
Who said November 11th? Don't worry, you're not on tape.
October 11th. We have to have everybody registered, and then anybody in your communities or whatever people need to make a plan to get out and vote, because if we do it, we're going to win, and winning Pennsylvania is really important.
Yes, sir.
The bottom line is, for the next 44 days, we need to fight as hard for Hillary as we know she will fight for us when she gets and sits at the desk that I pretend to sit behind him.
All right.
All of us know on the night of November 8th, we all want to join hands and watch that glass ceiling that you put 18 million glass in.
Sure.
2008 shatter once and for all. Okay, so I'm sorry I kept you guys waiting. Thank you for your attitude.
Welcome.
Baby
I don't know. Right now, Olivia's about out to hear.
Baby chaser.
The baby's not news. Baby's not neither one. Anyway, so that's it.
Thank you.
Woo! Thank you.
I didn't introduce myself. None of you know who I am.
He was a Tarzan.
Ghost!
Tarzan.
Some people like the pictures.
Yes.
So the way to do is, who wants to be the photographer? One of you guys.
Darthbriboy.
One big group. We can do some.
I just got to shake his hand really quick. That is going to be combined into one video. What's your name?
Yeah, for sure. Ready? Are we going? Hey, Miriam. What's up? How are you?
Oh, this is fantastic.
It's all right. We don't both get credit for that. Thank you for
What about you do some phone banking now? Oh, you too. This guy's great now. Should I go home?
Get out and go to another
Thanks for coming.
You ready to go, right?
Cool.